Good morning to everyone from Frontier, the channel that focuses on the future scenarios of work, new jobs, and new skills. Please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Today's subject matter is a highly intricate one that prompts questions regarding technology and its influence on us. We are already encountering difficulties in managing it today while it remains external to our bodies. However, there are individuals, with the most prominent being Musk, who assert that in order to augment ourselves and enhance our interaction with machines, we should integrate it within us. Thus, I belong to the boomer generation, which means I was born in an analog era. Today, I no longer perceive myself as entirely analog, yet I don't feel fully digital either. I would describe myself as hybrid because since the 1990s, I have transitioned through numerous personal computers and utilized a variety of mobile phones. I don't have Alexa at home, but I do have a Roomba that cleans my floors. I use generative artificial intelligence, particularly cloud, making extensive use of the search function, and I interact with cloud. It feels as though I possess a highly skilled collaborator who aids me in the tasks I undertake. I never depart without consulting the weather forecast to organize and arrange my activities. I have been actively engaging with video games since the 1990s, making use of various gaming platforms and accumulating thousands of followers on social media networks. How can I claim that I'm still analog? I'm undeniably a hybrid, and if I were to be deprived of these elements, it would feel as though I had been hurled back to the 1970s, and I likely couldn't manage without them any longer, so I'm unquestionably compromised. Even though discussing being hybrid might not be the most precise description, I ought to say that I'm a symbiont. We are symbionts because we have utilized and continue to utilize machines persistently. If we contemplate cars, the vehicles we operate, we're certainly accustomed to interacting with machines. But today, we discuss autonomous vehicles. And in this instance, it's about entrusting our cognitive functions to the machine. With the emergence of touch technology, everything has undergone a fundamental transformation because there is no longer any necessity for a pointer, mouse, or arrows. You can now utilize augmented reality by zooming in with your fingers, and we certainly acquire a significantly greater capability, especially concerning our senses, which are undeniably enhanced. Nevertheless, the metamorphosis of the species is not ascribed to technology itself, but rather to the stimuli that technology imposes on our brains. Consequently, in a particular manner, we are already in a condition of symbiosis with machines. Yet we are keenly aware that the advantage lies in the fact that today, while seated comfortably in our armchair, we possess the capability to reach any location on the planet with remarkable rapidity, precisely due to this ongoing digital transformation. We could assert that the metaverse is possibly the reality that most accurately encapsulates this context. The challenge we encounter in the present day is that we are gradually becoming more accustomed to residing in a state that straddles both the online and offline domains. We are progressively becoming more accustomed to living what might be characterized as nearly a dual existence, partly the physical, traditional one, but also the digital one. For example, we might visit a shoe shop, discover a pair we find attractive, purchase them immediately, then exit the shop and go online to check if those shoes are available on Amazon at a more economical price. We already reside in a sort of infosphere, as exemplified by numerous everyday activities. We find ourselves situated within the vehicle but remain uncertain about the precise route, so we make use of the satellite navigation system and simultaneously experience both an online and offline mode. We are essentially hybrid cells within a global macroorganism where the distinctions between the online and offline realms have essentially vanished and digital media have evolved into extensions of our natural senses. The touchscreen has transformed sensory interaction by integrating touch, sight, and hearing. This technology has compromised us, making us dependent on machines and the digital. It is a form of technology that seamlessly integrates with biological systems, establishing a new equilibrium. Indeed, with this expansive network encompassing the entire planet, a community is being established, shall we say, a genuinely global one. Even a novel type of anthropological grouping, a multi-ethnic and multilingual community that remains perpetually connected. This aggregation has established billions of relationships among us, and these communities are an intriguing phenomenon because they are fluid, they are interconnected, they transcend all boundaries, forming a global environment, a continuous interaction, almost a collective intelligence or a collective consciousness, a planetary entity that unites living and non-living systems, a kind of opportunity to be continuously in symbiosis with the entire world. It is evident that this particular issue, this scenario, raises highly specific questions regarding ethical considerations, digital governance, ICT education, privacy management, and the regulation of major digital platforms. It is quite apparent that we are genuinely concerned that all of this can potentially lead to emotional and cognitive imbalances, and a thoughtful reflection on this equilibrium is essential because the excessive utilization of technology can diminish our communication abilities. Emotional intelligence is becoming progressively more vital, but what precisely is emotional intelligence? Within the context of the digital realm, emotional intelligence pertains to the ability to understand and regulate our own emotions and perceptions that endure when we interact with others in a digital setting. It encompasses managing these emotions and also endeavoring to comprehend the emotions and perceptions of those with whom we are engaging. This entails bridging the interactions we encounter in the physical world, including those emotional nuances that are altered in the digital sphere in a unique way, yet continue to exist. Let us propose that technological advancements in the forthcoming years will necessitate being predominantly steered by this particular form of intelligence, namely emotional intelligence, in order to achieve genuine effectiveness. Undoubtedly, this particular scenario prompts numerous inquiries regarding how to effectively balance the utilization of technology, as technology undeniably exerts an influence on our brain, which is known to be plastic and, as a result, adapts. We all observe that our attention is fragmented. Even the World Health Organization advises us to limit the use of these tools. In the realm of work, those engaged in remote working in Italy are no longer the 8 million from the lockdowns, yet there are still 3 million individuals continuing to do so. It is crucial, for instance, to deliberate on the right to disconnect for those engaged in remote work, as we are acutely aware that there exists a challenge with algorithm control, particularly those algorithms that govern our work organizations, and to balance the utilization of technology with the necessity to preserve a profound human connection. Certainly, we experience both advantages and disadvantages. We become significantly faster but also considerably more distracted, and the utilization of elements such as emoticons or video conferencing represents an entirely novel method of engaging with others that was previously unavailable to us. It is now evident that the excessive utilization of technology must indeed be curtailed, and we need to adequately train our brains for these matters. So, what does limiting entail? It signifies, for instance, that we ought not to overindulge. We must decrease our exposure duration somewhat, and we should, for example, deactivate non-essential notifications because this incessant stream of notifications can disrupt us in various ways. We need to pause every now and then and revert to the analog realm, take a leisurely walk, and alternate digital activities with tangible real-world experiences. How do we maintain our humanity in this rapidly advancing technological era? As we observe, we already encounter a substantial challenge in managing technology that remains external to our bodies. Now, considering the concept put forward by an increasingly prominent school of thought endorsed by renowned individuals such as Elon Musk and Bill Gates, the notion of further augmenting ourselves to keep pace with machines by integrating them into our bodies is gaining traction. Musk's company, Neuralink, exemplifies this idea. I would suggest that we need to exercise considerable prudence in this regard. We are undoubtedly discussing the realm of cyborgs, which from a healthcare standpoint could indeed be advantageous, especially when we consider, for example, bionic hands or exoskeletons. Nonetheless, we must also evaluate these advancements in the context of military applications, which undeniably exist and will persist. Consequently, we must proceed with utmost caution. We must ensure that we do not lose our humanity in the process. We shall continue to delve into the discussion with considerably greater depth through the podcast we produce for Job Reloaded. Please do leave me your messages. It is essential that we exchange our perspectives because this subject matter is rather sensitive and we are indeed discussing our future. Therefore, perhaps having some thoughtful reflections on this could prove to be enlightening.